Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnana Timirandhasya, Jnana Jana Shalakaya, Chakshurunmilitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. Om Amriteshwarye Namaha. We'll begin with a short meditation. Kindly sit straight and make sure your vertebral column, yes, spinal column is erect. And slowly close your eyes. Try to focus your awareness on your breathing normally but with fully aware of every inhalation and exhalation that passes through your body. As you watch your breath, you will also slowly start relaxing and feel the relaxation. Now we'll chant Om 3 times. Om is the primordial sound, the sound of the universe. And feel the sound coming from deep within. And visualize the sound traveling upwards along your spine, cleansing your body, your mind, the atmosphere around you. And finally, merging in silence. Now kindly take a deep breath. Feel the reverberations of Om in each and every part of your body. And now, when you breathe in, chant the mantra Maha silently along with your in-breath. And when you breathe out, please chant Om. So Ma, when you breathe in, and Om when you breathe out. Ma is a representation of divine love, and Om of divine light. You need not visualize love and light. Just feel your heart being filled with that divine love and light as you chant Ma and Om. And continue chanting like this for some time. Slowly and slowly the reverberations of Ma and Om become more and more subtle. Instead of feeling the physical sound of Ma and Om, just feel the subtle vibrations of Ma and Om. And now feel your heart being filled with that divine love and light. And your heart expanding like a flower bud that opens into a beautiful and fragrant flower. Imagine your heart being filled with that divine love, light, with peace, with bliss, and with contentment. Now visualize the light and love in your heart, and the light going out from your heart to all the beings in this world, just like the rays of the sun. And as the light falls on each and every being, imagine they also become more loving, more peaceful, more blissful, and more content. And while imagining so, we'll chant the Loka Samasta prayer 9 times. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Dhyayamo Dhavlavagundhanavatim Tejomayim Naishtikim Snigdha Pangavilokinim Bhagavatim Mandasmidashrimukim Valsalyamritavarshinim Sumadhuram Sankirtanalapinim Shamangi Madhusikta Suktim Amritanandatmikam Ishwarim Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parambaram Sruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavandau Punah Punaha Ishwarau Guru Rakmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyamavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Amriteshwariye Namaha. Om Amriteshwariye Namaha. Just to refresh everybody's memory, as it has been such a long gap, we have been looking at the hymn of Lord Brahma, the Creator. As the story was going on, when Lord Krishna went to the forest where there was this Aghasura, which was the python. The Asura in the form of the python was hiding. And he was sitting there as if his mouth was open and it looked like a big cave. Eventually, the young boys, the Gopas, entered into the mouth, and as soon as the Lord also entered into the mouth, the Asura closed its mouth. But Lord Krishna grew so big that the mouth had to be broken, and not only that, the demon died and the boys escaped. And as they came out, Brahma, the Creator, who was looking at all the scenes, was wondering about doing a trick on the Lord. So what he did was he created the same number of calves, the boys, and he put them there. And what he did was he didn't create them. He actually kidnapped the boys. And when he kidnapped them, and he took them to Brahmaloka. When he took them to the Brahmaloka, of course, seeing that the mothers of the Gopas will be so sad, not seeing them and coming back, Lord Krishna created his own Maya and created the equal number of calves, the boys, and everything remained the same. So how this was revealed was that these boys, that is the Gopas, when they came back and told the story to their parents, it took about an year's interval. So at that time, Lord Krishna was only 5, but when actually the Gopas came and narrated the story of Lord Krishna killing the python, it was Lord Krishna was 6 years old. So the question was asked, how come, Parikshit asked Lord Shuka, how come it took 1 year for them to come back? And that's when Lord Shuka is narrating the story where Brahma came and kidnapped the boys and the calves. And so he wanted to test Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna created the same amount of boys and calves with his Maya. And when they went back to the Vrija, and it was as if nothing was happened, or nothing had happened. It was only 1 year later when Lord Brahma realized that nothing had changed. He brought back the Gopas and the calves. And then he started prostrating at the Lord's feet and asking for forgiveness for testing him. And then he started saying his hymn to the Lord, praising the Lord. And as I was saying, that every time they get an opportunity to praise and to chant a hymn, praising the Lord, they would do that. And in the hymn, one of the main things, he was talking about his stupidity against, and using it against this person who Maya had no powers or equal, or he was the Lord of Maya. And he was talking about that, and he was saying that you are the Supreme Lord, the Brahman itself. And how could I not come across that cosmic form? And how could not I have understood you? And even after 1,000 years of tapas, it is very difficult to perceive who the Lord is, who has come in a human form. And he was saying that the great rishis who perform austerity for several years together cannot understand or explain the mystery and this of the Lord who has come in the human form. And now he's saying that talking about the people in Vrija, he's talking that the greatness of the inhabitants, that these people, though unseemingly they have not done any austerity, they are the most fortunate. Why? Because the Lord has come in the human form amongst them, and the Lord is interacting with them, and it's as if it's an ordinary being. And they were saying that he's saying that even just the Lord's feet being imprinted on that part of the earth is such a fortunate thing for these people. And he was talking about, one of the things he was talking about, there is nothing greater than the union with the Lord. But for these people, even that was not necessary, because all they wanted was pure devotion to the Lord. So they're saying that even greater than moksha, greater than realization, is that bhakti. That earning just to be with the Lord is greater, the most highest form of even beyond realization. So the highest form of bhakti is just to be with the Lord. And he was saying that in the next birth, whenever he is be born, he should be born at least as a blade of grass in Vrindavan. I was saying that there's that song, Yamuna Tira Vihari, in which he says, Oru Pullai, Oru Kallai Piravi Edukka Vendum. That is just, let me be born as either a blade of grass or a stone, so that the feet of the Lord touches me, and I can feel that bliss while the Lord touches with His feet. And finally, after that, he praising the Lord, and Brahma saluting the Lord, saying that, O Lord Krishna, now permit me to go. Thou who art all-knowing and the universal witness, knowest all about us and our powers. Thou art only the master of the universe. This world, which is generally considered my body, rests in thee. O, the sun that brings into the bloom the lotus of the Vrishni clan, O, the moon that swells the sea of delight in the hearts of holy men and innocent beings, O, the sun that dispels the darkness of perverse doctrines, O, the fire that consumes all the tyrants of the earth, O, the supreme being that draws the adoration of the sun and all the other deities, O Sri Krishna, to thee my homage for eternity. So he's saying that he himself has been created by Lord Krishna. He's saying that you are the master of the universe. Because why? Because the world is generally considered to be the body of Brahma. Because Brahma the creator, has created the world. So he's saying that even the master of the universe is the Lord. And he praises the Lord with all the other beautiful verses, like the sun that blooms the lotus, the moon that swells the sea, the sun that dispels the darkness, and all these things. And so, after thus glorifying the divine majesties of Lord Krishna, circumambulating him thrice, and making prostrations, Brahma departed to his realm. After permitting Brahma to go, the Lord brought all the calves that were hidden by Brahma's Maya to the place on the river bank where he with his friends had been taking lunch. Though the boys had been separated for 1 year from Krishna, the Lord of their heart and soul, they, by the power of Krishna's Maya, felt that the period only as half a moment. So, as I was explaining earlier, time is very relative. And it shows the relativity of time in each and every person to person also. And here, as I was saying earlier, when Brahma hid the calves and the boys, it was just a wink of his eye. And for Lord Krishna, it was just he's saying the period only was half a moment. So if 1 year was just half a moment to him. And what is there in this universe, the memory of which cannot be effaced by the power of the Lord's Maya? Is it not by its power that the whole world has forgotten that they are in truth the Atman? However much they are instructed by the teacher and the Shastra, they are not able to get back that memory. See the power of Maya. So, he's talking about pure Vedanta here. How we forget that we are not the Atman, we are not the Supreme Conscious, and we feel that we are only the body. We are just ordinary human beings. Why? How? It is the power of the Maya. And even though the teacher, means the Guru, and the scriptures keep telling us again and again and beating in the truth that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are the Supreme Brahman, we are not able to get back that memory. So that's the biggest problem. So he's saying that is the power of Maya. So it is the power, he's saying the power that the whole world has forgotten that they are, in truth, they are the Atman, the Supreme Consciousness. So the power of the Lord can either evoke the memory or erase the memory. So in this case, what happened was the memory was erased, that the 1 year had passed. So the boy and his friends, his friends, said to Krishna, "Oh, you have returned so soon. We have not eaten even a single ball of rice after you left. Come now, sit and eat comfortably." So the boys did not realize that 1 year had passed. So they told Lord Krishna, "Oh, you have come back so soon, and now we are hungry, so let's come, sit and eat." And Krishna laughed at these words of the boys and took his food with them. He directed the attention of the boys to the skin of the python on his way back to Brija. Same thing happens to us many a times when we see Amma. And we tell Amma, "Oh, Amma, I haven't seen you for 6 months," where it could have been a year or 2 years or a year and a half. Or it could be 9 months. And Amma laughs. Amma's laugh has a meaning because we do not understand the measure of time that which we have been away from Amma, and whereas Amma knows exactly. Talking about time, once when Amma used to keep a watch, or still there is a watch on her side. And everybody believes that Amma is looking at the time and when to get up and finish her darshan and leave. So one time, what I did was I told the coordinator to bring the watch and made it like 20 minutes fast. If I made it too way up, then Amma would catch me. So I just added another 20 minutes to the watch and asked them to keep it back so that Amma will finish sooner. Half an hour later, she turned back to me and she said, "Do you want to know the time exactly to the exact second and exact minute? I'll tell you what it is." So I knew I couldn't fool her. And as we all know, she has a particular time that she will sit, no matter even God comes and tells her that it is a long time, and please get up and leave. Amma will sit until the time that she determines and she wants. So it's it's one sense, she's the master of time, as like Lord Krishna, and she knows exactly, and we all don't know because we are in time, in the grips of time. So we feel the time passing, or we feel the time stopping sometimes. We feel the time going backwards, front, and everything. But for Amma, she's beyond that. And on the way back, Lord Krishna points to the python, that the dead python, which was the Aghasura, dead Aghasura, so that they would remember that the Lord killed the python. Wearing decorations consisting of peacock plumes and mineral paints, excited by the high and tumultuous sound of numerous flutes and cowherd horns, praised by boys coming from behind with songs on his wonderful deeds, The fondling the calves in many ways, he entered the cow pen, providing a veritable feast to the eyes of the cowherdesses of the place. And reaching the Vrija, the boys announced that the son of Yashoda had destroyed a terrible serpent that day and saved them all. So remember, it was a year afterwards. So when Parikshit asked this question, why did it take 1 year? Lord Krishna was explaining what happened. Lord Shuka was explaining what happened. So it was a year later, they went and told their parents that Lord Krishna had killed the python, Aghasura. So now, the Raja, that is Parikshit, is asking to Lord Shuka, "O great one, how could the inhabitants of Vrija feel greater love for Krishna, who was born of another person, than for the children born of their own body?" So, it's a very fair question. The people of Vrija, just like all the other human beings, they also had husbands, they also had wives, they had children, they had their fathers, the parents, they had grandparents, they had grandchildren also. But he is asking this question. But Lord Krishna was not related to any of them in any way. And he was born of another mother, and who had no direct relationship with them. So how could that child be born from another mother, how can the gopis or the gopas exhibit so much of love for a child who was born to another mother, not from their own body? Because as we know, as well as human beings is concerned, one of the as we extol love, the greatest love that is exhibited in the world is the love the mother has for her child. But that is also even limited, because why? The mother does not love a neighbor's child just like hers. So even that is selfish. Even the love of the mother is selfish, because she loves her child more than any other children. But in this case, their love was so selfless. Why? Because Lord Krishna was not born out of their relative or from their mother, or he was not their sibling. So that was a very fair question. So Sri Shuka said, "O king, it is well known that for all beings, their self is the dearest entity. Objects like the children and wealth are loved because they are felt as belonging to the self. So people are not found to love their children, houses, and the wealth to the extent they love their own bodies or selves. For these are not identified so completely with the self as the body is, they only belong to the self. O great king, it is well known that even in the case of those who contend that the self is the body, they are seen to love their own body more intensely than those that are related. In regard to the body also, if the experience of it were only as belonging to oneself, it would have been loved just as other objects possessed, and not the very self. This latter experience is due to the superimposition and consequent identification between the self and the body. If it is conceded that the body is only the seat of the self, the body cannot then be so dear as the self. Man's continuing will to live in spite of seeing the disintegration of the body is due to this identification or misidentification, which makes him feel the disintegration of the body as of the self itself. Therefore, all living beings, the dearest thing is one's own Atma, self or body. One values everything in this universe of living and non-living beings only for the sake of the self. Knowing this, Krishna to be the self of all selves. Assuming his Maya, he has embodied himself as a man for the sake of the welfare of the whole world. So here, it's a pure Vedanta. So I just have to explain a little bit. So here, he's saying that Sri Shuka says, what does he say? O king, all beings, their own self is the dearest entity. Means they love their own selves. So here we have to distinguish between the small self and the bigger self. And he is saying that the bigger self means the supreme consciousness. And when we talk about the small self, it's here they're talking about the body. And objects like children and wealth are loved because they are felt as belonging to the self. So self means again the small self. So people are not found to love their children, houses and the wealth to the extent they love their own bodies or selves. So when you compare a person and ask this question, who do they love the most? The answer is they love themselves the most. So in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is the Upanishad where the great Yajnavalkya, the Rishi Yajnavalkya, is giving his teachings to his wife Maitreyi. And when Maitreyi asks this question, who is the person whom you love most? Isn't it your wife or husband or child or mother or father? He says, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. He says, it's not for the sake of the husband he is loved, but for one's own sake he is loved. It's not for the sake of the wife that she is loved, but for one's own sake that is loved. And it's not for the sake of the sons, nor for sake of wealth, but for one's own sake it is loved. It's not for the sake of the gods, not for one, and they are loved. It's not for the sake of the beings, and it's not for the sake of all, that is all is loved, but for one's own sake. So he says the self, my dear Maitreyi, should be realized, should be heard of, reflected on and meditated upon. By the realization of the self, my dear, through hearing, reflection and meditation, all is known. So this is what Yajnavalkya tells his wife, Maitreyi. So it's not for the sake of the husband or the wife or children or even God is loved, but for the sake of one's own self. So here, what happens is the self. When we, as I said, there is the limited self and the supreme self. The Supreme Self, as I said, is Paramatman. And what happens is the self is, for us, ordinary beings, it's the body. So he's saying that it is well known that even in the case of those who contend that the self is the body, they are seen to love their own body more intensely. So they misinterpret the self to be the body. Because, of course, they don't know what is the real self. And in regard to the body also, if the experience were only as is belonging to oneself, it would have been loved just as the objects possessed and not as the very self. So again, the feeling of I and mine, that's what he is talking about. It is about me and it's about my things, my objects, all the things which is connected with me. So why? Because he's saying that there is a superimposition and consequent identification between the self and the body. So there is a misinterpretation of the self. Because they think the seat of the self is the body itself. And they are identifying with the body and thinking that that is the self. So there is no distinction between the body and the self. So all of us are aware and we are interacting with our body, which we think to be the self. But whereas the real self is completely different. And the real Atma or the self is different from that of the body. And that's why what happens at the time of death of a person, we know that in one sense we know the body will die one day or the other. The body has to perish. But why do we become sad when the body perishes? Because we thought that we were eternal. So what happened is we took the self for the body and misinterpreted that self to be the body. So when the body perishes, that's why we are crying. Because whom we thought to be eternal, or what we thought to be eternal, is now going away. Why do we think that it is eternal? Because somewhere in our psyche, we know that something is eternal. There is some part of us which is eternal. And we don't know which one is eternal. And that's why we misconceive and superimpose the fact, the eternal part, to be the body instead of the Atman, the Supreme Consciousness. So that's why when the body goes away, we start crying. That's why when we see death, somebody dying, also we feel sad. Because we think that they are going away. Whereas the self always remains. And as we know, in the case of, as the story goes, in the case of Buddha, there is a woman who comes and cries to Buddha saying that my son died, so please do something and bring him back to life. So Buddha asks the lady to go around and get a handful of rice from a house where nobody has died. And soon enough she comes back and says, I couldn't find a house where nobody died. And everybody has to go through this cycle of death and rebirth. And what we think, what we perceive to be eternal now is perishable. And that's where the sadness comes. And he's saying that all for all living beings, the dearest thing is Atma, the self. And as I was saying earlier, what Yajnana Valkya was saying, it is for the sake of the self that we love everybody, everything in this world, and even we love God for the sake of love, for the sake of the self. Gods means demigods, not the Supreme Atman. So, all the living and non-living beings are loved only for the sake of the self, and which we misinterpret to be the body. So, knowing this Krishna to be the self of all selves, and assuming his Maya, he has embodied himself as a man for the sake of the welfare of the whole world. So knowing that Lord Krishna, who is Lord Krishna, is the self of all the selves. In fact, he's the Supreme Brahman itself who has assumed his Maya, and he has embodied as a human being for the sake of the welfare of this world. So, for those who know Krishna, truly this whole universe of moving and unmoving entities is the form of the Lord. There is nothing separated or excluded from him. So, all manifested objects have their substantial basis in the causes that have taken shape as effects. Now, all these relative causes, Krishna is the substantial basis. Reflect, therefore, whether there is anything in this universe which is not he. And whoever adopts the lotus feet of the Lord, far famed from its sanctifying power, and for its being the refuge for all virtuous men, as the boat for crossing the ocean of samsara, for them, that ocean is like a puddle made by a calf's hoof. They attain to the supreme state, they have no fear of downfall. And I have now finished answering your question, why the boys reported what Krishna did in the 5th year, only in his 6th. So he's saying that a person who knows all these things, they know that the whole universe is nothing but a part of the Lord. This is exactly what Amma says. The creator and the creation are not different. They are one and the same. So it's the creator who has come as the creation. Or the creation is pervaded. That's why he's saying the creation is pervaded by the creator. It's not different. And so there is nothing in this world that is separated from the God. And that's what Sarvam Brahmamayam. That's another way of saying that in the Upanishads, one of the greatest Upanishad truths is everything is Brahman. Everything is pervaded by Brahman, the Supreme Self. So everything is pervaded by the Creator itself. So he's saying that's why whoever adopts the lotus feet of the Lord, far famed for its sanctifying power, it's for them, crossing the ocean of samsara is like is a puddle made by a calf's hoof. So for many of us, the ocean of samsara is vast and wide, and it's difficult to cross. But he's saying, if you have taken refuge in the lotus feet of the Lord, because of the sanctifying power of the feet or of the Lord, it's like crossing a small puddle. And they have no fear of downfall. So they don't have any downfall at all. And they don't veer off from the path. So he says that, the people, that's why he was saying that the question was asked, right? That why did the inhabitants of Vrija feel so much love for Krishna. It is so natural. Why? As Amma says, when the magnet comes, all the iron filings just naturally feel that intense pull towards the magnet. And Lord being the self of all the selves, naturally it is natural for human beings or all beings just to feel so attracted. And there is nothing which can prevent. So it is the same, we can say, as we love Amma. Why do we love Amma? And who is Amma? And when she travels from country to country, she doesn't even speak the language. She doesn't know, in one sense, she doesn't know the culture. And she doesn't even look like the people in certain or most of the countries. And still you can easily identify with Amma. And people feel at home, they feel at ease. And you remember that story when one lady who had come from a village in the old Czechoslovakia, when it was Czech and Slovakia together, the Czech Republic, she came to Amma and she was praying. She wanted to know if Amma knew her heart. If Amma really knew her heart, she said, "Can you give me a sign?" And she was praying while she was going in the line. And when she came near Amma, Amma pulled her close and started singing a song that her mother used to sing to her while she was so young, in the same language. And Amma knew the song perfectly. And she was singing so perfectly that this woman started crying and feeling that it was her own mother. So, I'm just saying that how does everybody have that feeling of motherly love or grandmotherly love, as somebody says? Because Amma is also the self of all the selves. She is indeed the Supreme Self, which is the mother of all of us, the real mother. And we are all part of her, which we do not understand. So ultimately, when we merge with her, then slowly we will understand. But until then, we feel the separation. We feel we are not her. We are different from her. So this is the Maya. This is the greatest illusion. So he says that's the other question which Parikshit asked. Why did the boys report in the 6th year only about Lord Krishna killing Aghasura, the python? So he says that this is the reason what happened, the Lord's Maya. And so he says, whoever hears and recites these accounts of Lord Krishna's divine play with the boys, the destruction of Agha, the picnic on the green grassy bank of the Yamuna, the revelation of his pure spiritual form, the hymn of Brahma, etc., will attain to all the purposes of life. Thus, occupying themselves with various plays like hide and seek, making buns, leapfrog, etc., Rama and Krishna spent the stage of life called Kaumara, period up to the 5th year of life. So he's saying that whosoever hears and recites these accounts of Lord Krishna with the boys of the destruction of Agha, the Asura, they will attain to all the purposes of life. How will they attain to the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? What is the basic purpose of life, of human life? It's the realization, right? So here, when you hear the story, as I said, all Vedanta is being explained here. And the real reason is also explained why we feel the separation from the self. And now we know who is the real self, who is not the real self. And who we misinterpret to be the self. So once we know that, once we identify who is the real self, we will work towards attaining that supreme self. Or we will go in search of a master who is realized and who can show us the path. Or for most of us who are very fortunate to be with Amma, all as the King Parikshit was told by Sage Shuka, all we have to do is just stick on to the feet of the Divine Mother, and we will be crossing the ocean just as if it's like a puddle. This big ocean which many people find it so difficult to cross, and which most of them have not realized that there is an ocean to cross. And for many who even go back thinking it's formidable, it cannot be attained, and they veer from the path, and all these other things, for those people, I mean, for us, we don't have to go through all these experiences. It's very simple. Because if we know that if we just stick on to the path of, or to the feet of Amma, Amma will make sure that we cross the ocean of samsara just like a puddle. So imagine how fortunate those gopis and gopas were in Brija. Imagine how fortunate we are also that we are with Amma. And thinking about this itself can give us the ability and the devotion to cross this ocean of samsara with the help of Amma's blessing. So may Amma give us the strength to continue and to do our spiritual practices. As I said, it doesn't mean that we should stop our spiritual practices and think that, Amma will take us across, so why should we do our spiritual practices? We have to understand that we are in a ship, a huge ship, and the captain is Amma. And Amma will take us across the ocean in that, it's not even a big ocean liner, it is actually a cruise liner. Because with Amma you see all kinds of entertainment, all sorts of pleasures, and she's giving us every taste of anything in this world and in this ship, and she's allowing us to enjoy everything and finally go across this ocean. So, but what happens is sometimes there are storms in the sea, right? So, what happens is when this storm comes in our lives, suddenly we are taken aback and we start worrying and we start thinking, does Amma know what is happening to us? Then if Amma knows, then why is Amma not doing anything about it? So that's why we have to have the strength of our spiritual practices. The strength of the spiritual practices only will make us hold to the ship. Otherwise, when the waves hit us, we will bounce and might fall back into the ocean. So we have to be careful. That's the only reason why we have to do our spiritual practices. And as long as we do, we are rest assured to reach the other shores of realization. Om Amriteshwari. जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार। जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
बहुत दुखी है ये संसार, मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
बहुत दुखी है ये संसार, मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
बहुत दुखी है ये संसार, मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
बहुत दुखी है ये संसार, मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
जय अमृतेश्वरी, जय जगदीश्वरी, जय भुवनेश्वरी, राजराजेश्वरी।
जय अमृतेश्वरी, जय जगदीश्वरी, जय भुवनेश्वरी, राजराजेश्वरी।
माता काली श्मशान वासिनी, माता दुर्गा सिंहवाहिनी।
माता काली श्मशान वासिनी, माता दुर्गा सिंहवाहिनी।
महिषासुर का अंतकारिणी, मुझे बजाओ मेरी माँ।
महिषासुर का अंतकारिणी, मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ, मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
जय माता दी
अमृतेश्वरी जय जगदीश्वरी जय भुवनेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
जय अमृतेश्वरी जय जगदीश्वरी जय भुवनेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी
मधुरै मीनाक्षी कन्याकुमारी कांची कामाक्षी माँ करुमारी
मधुरै मीनाक्षी कन्याकुमारी कांची कामाक्षी माँ करुमारी
गाता हूँ मैं गीत तुम्हारी मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
गाता हूँ मैं गीत तुम्हारी मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ मेरा मन तेरी निहार।
जय माता दी मेरी माँ मेरा मन तेरी विहार।
बहुत दुखी है ये संसार मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
बहुत दुखी है ये संसार मुझे बचाओ मेरी माँ।
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 गणपति गुण निधि तेरे गुण गायक हम प्यारे।
गणपति गुण निधि तेरे गुण गायक हम प्यारे।
गणपति गुण निधि तेरे गुण गायक हम प्यारे। सब विधि तू रखवारे, पर ले दुख हमारे।
सब विधि तू रखवारे, पर ले दुख हमारे।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
सुंदर कंज वदना, जन पर करुणा करना।
सुंदर कंजर वदना, जन पर करुणा करना।
मुद मंगल सब भरना, तू करुणा का झरना।
मुद मंगल सब भरना, तू करुणा का झरना।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गज मुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गिरिजानंदन वर दे, पद वंदन हम करते।
गिरिजानंदन वर दे, पद वंदन हम करते।
तेरा यश जो गाते, उनके वंदन मिट दे।
तेरा यश जो गाते, उनके बंधन मिट दे।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू, गजमुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू। गजमुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू। गजमुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू। गजमुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू। गजमुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
गणपति करुणा करना तू, गुण निधि सब वर देता तू। गजमुख मंगल भरना तू, गणनायक भय हरना तू।
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 जय राधा माधव, जय कुंज विहारी।
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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभ,
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ,
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ,
जय कृष्ण मुरारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ,
कुंज विहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी
यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय कृष्ण मुरारी हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Kali Ma, Jai Jai 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 Kali Ma,
Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma.
Jai Jai Kali Ma, 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 Jai Jai Kali Ma,
Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma.
Jai Jai Bhaya Bhanjini Kali Ma, Jai Jai Bhavatarini Kali Ma,
Jai Jai Bhaya Bhanjini Kali Ma, Jai Jai Bhavatarini Kali Ma.
Jai Jai Jagadishwari Kali Ma, Jai Jai Jagatkarini Kali Ma,
Jai Jai Jagadishwari Kali Ma, Jai Jai Jagatkarini Kali Ma.
Jai Jai Kali Ma, 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 Jai Jai Kali Ma,
Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma, Jai Jai Kali Ma,
श्याम सुंदरी
जय जय त्रिपुर सुंदरी काली माँ जय जय त्रिभुवनेश्वरी काली माँ जय जय कृपा सागरी काली माँ जय जय श्याम सुंदरी
जय जय काली माँ 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 जय जय काली माँ
जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ
जय जय महायोगिनी काली माँ जय 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 महायोगिनी काली माँ जय जय महामोहिनी काली माँ जय जय भक्तिदायिनी काली माँ जय जय मुक्तिदायिनी
जय जय महायोगिनी काली माँ जय जय महामोहिनी काली माँ जय जय भक्तिदायिनी काली माँ जय जय भक्तिदायिनी
जय जय काली माँ 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 जय जय काली माँ
जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ
जय जय मातृ रूपिणी काली माँ जय जय प्रेम रूपिणी काली माँ जय जय ब्रह्म रूपिणी काली माँ जय जय शक्ति रूपिणी
जय जय मातृरूपिणी काली माँ जय जय प्रेम रूपिणी काली माँ जय जय ब्रह्म रूपिणी काली माँ जय जय शक्ति रूपिणी
जय जय काली माँ 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 जय जय काली माँ
जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ
जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ
जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ
जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ।
जय जय काली माँ, 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 जय जय काली माँ।
जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ,
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 जय जय काली माँ,
जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ,
जय जय काली माँ,
जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ, जय जय काली माँ,
काली माँ, काली माँ, काली माँ, जय जय 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 काली माँ। सकलागम निर्वादिषु चरिते अमृतानन्दमयी निखिलामय जननी वन्दे अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी प्रेम रसामृत वर्षिणी माता अमृतानन्दमयी प्रेम भक्ति संदायिनी माता अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी समगमदायिनी मनलयकारिणी अमृतानन्दमयी सगदम्भमहृदि वसदा देवी अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी पतितोद्धार निरन्तर हृदये अमृतानन्दमयी परमहंस पदनिलये देवी अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी हे जननी जनि मरण निवारिणि अमृतानन्दमयी हे सृजन परिपालिनि जयदा अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी सुरजन पूजित जय जगदम्बा अमृतानन्दमयी सहज समाधि सुधन्ये देवी अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी ॐ जय जय जगज्जननी वन्दे अमृतानन्दमयी मंगलहारति माधव भवानी अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी माता अमृतानन्दमयी जय बोलो सद्गुरु माता अमृतानंदमयी देवी की अमृतेश्वरी मंगलम प्रणमदा मुक्तिप्रदे भुवनेश्वरी मंगलम सुखदेया एकाश्वरी मंगलम अमृतेश्वरी प्रणमदा मुक्तिप्रदे मङ्गलम् भुवनेश्वरी मङ्गलम् सुकृतिना विकासये हृदयेश्वरी मङ्गलम् हृदिलसत्तेजोमयी मङ्गलम् मृदुभाषिणी मङ्गलम् विजयदा प्रेमावृते मङ्गलम् विजयदा प्रेमावृते मङ्गलम् विजयदा प्रेमावृते असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।